From the legends of memory and storage, Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products, precision engineered for speed and stability. Crucial Ballistics.
Guess who's back? Back again. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Challenger Series powered by ZOTAC. And also, if you want to be as quick as us, grab the crucial SSDs. Dude, it's been a long wait. I could not be more hyped because we have the upper bracket matchup where we have two big underdogs going up head to head. We have a lot more action for the rest of the day. It's going to be amazing, CCV. How are you feeling about this?
Oh, today, in terms of Valorant action right here in the Challenger series, we have tons of matches set up and we have a lot of entertainment to be provided, not just from our side, but from mainly from the side of these teams. Because once more, the thing is that we have two different best of threes, which represent two very different objectives that these teams will be trying to achieve. First, we have an upper bracket matchup, the teams looking to get in the upper bracket finals. Then we'll have the duel of death, teams who are fighting for survival to necessarily stay in the Challenger series, not necessarily just be in the finals and have the best run possible. No, in the lower bracket, things aren't that easy for you, my friend. You've already been given a second chance, and you best keep on performing. You better not lose and get out of the series. So yeah, taking a look at today's matchup, seeing the teams that will be playing today as well, a lot of excitement, a lot of those underdog teams who are looking to make a name for themselves and secure their position in not just tier 2, but tier 1 Valorant in South Asia as well. So absolutely, the potential is there. We just have to see whether or not the teams can go for it.
Yeah, 100%, man. And we have a lot to look forward to, right? Let's also glance
Mhm.
through which players have been performing at their APAC. And it's going to be the MVP standings that kind of gives us a glimpse of how things have been on the server as an aggregate. Deathmaker has been leading the chart, and again, we are waiting to see that VLT run in that upper bracket. Also,
Yeah.
EG, dude, they are looking real sick. They've been very brutal in their performances through the lower bracket ever since they got knocked down by it was Revenant who
Revenant.
took them down, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting if EG can carry it forward. Maybe we get to see a revenge matchup. And also, you have Bad Love from Reckoning in position 3, who could get a chance to maybe improve on his standings on today's matchup. And it's going to be crucial, right? A player like Bad Love, who's been I'd say the most important X factor for a team like Reckoning Esports. This matchup, it's going to be crucial for him to be alive, and if this upper bracket has to be alive for Reckoning.
100%. If the side of Reckoning Esports, I mean, being in the semifinals right now, being only a match away, a best of three away from reaching the upper bracket finals, meeting against Velocity, potentially having a short chance of reaching into the grand finale. I mean, the opportunity is really there. It means that it's a clear path for them. They don't have to entangle themselves in any way in the lower brackets and fight through death. Now,
Yeah.
we've been talking a lot about the brackets. You know what? Let's bring them up on screen and let's have a detailed discussion about how this Challenger series has been progressing so far and will progress further. Obviously, we have our first match of the day, the second semi-final of the upper brackets, Reckoning versus Revenant, as highlighted before. And then the loser of this matchup will be playing against M42 Esports, and they'll be moving forward into the lower bracket final. So yeah, we are nearing the final stage of the Challenger series. After today's first matchup, actually, yeah, we're just going to have our semifinals done, and we have the finals remaining, the decider finals, and obviously on Sunday we'll be having the best of five grand finale. So a
Yeah.
lot to look forward to. A lot of teams that are still here. A couple of those teams will be eliminated down the path. Today, we for sure will be seeing one team be out of the Challenger series. Which team is it going to be? That is the only question that's to be decided. But one thing is for sure that, yeah, this bracket and the matchups, they are looking extremely spicy.
Yeah, we need to see who's going to be following True Rippers out the door, as Enigma did knock them out in that lower bracket semifinals there. So now,
Mhm.
what I'm going to be interested in is this matchup and one very crucial context of it. Reckoning Esports is a team that is very, very diverse with the way they approach that talent and with the way they
Right.
approach the selection of the agents, especially. Let's quickly head into the intro of Reckoning as well. As we glance through the players, we also could glance through what the strategy is. You have Smoker, you have Pixels, you have Harsh, you have Deadly, you have Rio, you have Bad Love. Deadly, he started off as the KO player, but we've seen him transition into a very lethal jet. And a lot of his players around him are so versatile that every time you play against the Reckoning, you're not really sure if you can expect the same. And that goes across seasons. So if Reckoning Esports are to take this dub against Revenant, I think that they should be prepared for something of the ordinary. We did see them pick up the Neon, if I'm not mistaken. That was on the side of uh, Revenant's. Who was it? Was it Knight Rider? We did get to see Scar God. Yeah, it was in Scar God. So it was something that was very, very game changing that helped them get the upper edge, right? So those are the
Mhm.
kind of things now we get to expect. Maybe this could be the biggest matchup that we've had so far. Let's also take a quick look at Revenant, and maybe we could quickly make you understand why it could be the biggest matchup. These few players not only are some of the most mechanically gifted underdogs that we have on the scene right now, but they're also a roster that now are focusing on diversifying their roster in terms of their agent selection, just like RGE, right? So it's a very interesting matchup and a very interesting phase for both these teams and their journey to success.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about solidification, not just internally, like you mentioned, with how the team synergy goes, with how the player performances are, with how the communication is in their boot camps and in their calls that they have during the matches. It's not just the internal factors, it's also the external factors. Revenant are 100%, just like what Reckoning have been looking to achieve in the overall South Asian scene, like I mentioned. They are looking to solidify their name, that it is going to be Revenant Esports. Esports, whenever people hear that name, whenever people hear the roster, they immediately think of the players, they immediately think of the accomplishments they've had, the accolades that they've collected, just like we have many big shot teams already in South Asia. And yeah, Revenant, they've already defeated one of those big shot teams. They defeated Enigma 2-0 earlier here in Challenger Series. It was a very tough fought fight. 14-12 was the score of the first map. So it wasn't easy by any stretch of the imagination, but that's what happens when you go up against top tier teams. The good thing is it shows Reverend 100% possess the capability to be one of those top tier teams. And today, as we've had a look at these rosters, I am excited to see the one-on-one agent archetype matchups, things like that. I mean, do I have to state the obvious? The most obvious one has to be Jet versus Jet, but we'll take a look at the head-to-head and we'll see, is it going to be Jet versus Jet, or are there going to be other, yeah, for example, like I was saying, it's going to be a bad love up against Knight Rider. Now we know Knight Rider has been a person who has been playing a lot of that Jet recently. It's one of his major agent pickups. But Bad Love
Yeah.
as well can 100% be extremely versatile if the need be, and support his team and still put up great numbers as we saw in the MVP standings.
For sure, dude. And one thing that's gonna really take my attention is how they're gonna approach that Jet dilemma post this nerf. It's
Yeah,
sort of changed a very core tenet of that agent without hampering her ability too much. It's no longer an instant safety net when you have the tailwind in your back pocket. You need to be very decisive with how you use it. So running it with the operator now makes a little less sense. It's not very easy to get your get out of the jail free card. Essentially, what they've transitioned Jet to now is more of an aggressive duelist and more reliant on the rifle and the Bladestorm gunplay. You have the small change where now there's a small window for you to commit a double dash. If you're quick with how you approach your kill, you can use your tailwind first, be in the buffer window, get your first kill, be close to the second kill, commit the tailwind, and it's very quick when it goes in tandem, and that's what Jet players are going to look out for, right? For it to pay out in tandem and for them to flirt with danger when they're going to play aggressively and fast. That's sometimes going to be your upper hand where your enemies might not expect that kind of pace. That's why you throw them off guard, and that's
right.
sort of like the vicinity or the tangent that Riot wants to take with Jet, which is somewhat respectable. Now you have a very set up agent in terms of the chamber to run those operator and those long range duel setups.
Yeah, absolutely. Those setups and just being there is, like you mentioned, is the job of Chamber. He is going to be a pillar, an anchor, so to say, in a bomb site. And the fact that using his abilities, he can move around the bomb site very quickly helps him. But overall, bomb sites are one thing. It's the map in general. It's the map as a macro standpoint that we are more interested in, especially seeing which maps these teams have chosen to play in this best of three. So why not take a look at the veto process and see the maps that we will be seeing? It's going to be Haven, Split, and Ascent. The first map makes 100% sense. Reckoning, choosing Haven, match made in heaven, pun intended. I mean, yeah, Reckoning, it's a tale as old as time. Even with all the roster changes that have happened within Reckoning Esports for the past year, I'm not really sure, but Haven is just one of their maps, and they constantly and consistently deliver great results there. And then we move on to Split, chosen by Revenant. Again, makes sense, makes sense. You know, and finally, we've got our decider map of Ascend, which, I mean, it's a great decider map. You know what? It's good if we have it as a decider because that's the most standard Valorant you can get. But I am really looking forward to seeing Reckoning on Haven and Revenant on Split, the two map choices the teams have gone for.
Okay, so I'm gonna go off on a leg here and assume that you're gonna tell this is gonna be a 2-1 for whichever team that wins, right? You're looking this to go the full distance.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, understandable. I mean, this is kind of like the de facto Challenger Series veto, if I may say so myself, because
Hmm.
even split ascent in whichever order is what we usually see out in these part of the woods, right? So it's gonna be a very uh, decisive matchup in terms of the head-to-head that we did get to witness prior, because both Haven and Split, to a good extent, do facilitate that operator. I think Haven more so than Split, and you can make it work a little better on Ascend than Split, but overall, in all three of these maps, the operator should be one of the X factors that both these teams are going to be relying on to maybe gain consistent pickoffs and consistent advantages over time. So I want to see what the adaptation now is. Sometimes I've still seen that Jet picking up the op, but it's not as comfortable as it was prior. So if we do get to see the turnaround, that also calls for a big change in terms of how both the players approach that game style, right? A player like, let's say, Deadly, who has a very, very nice understanding of how to play fast with the rifles, but also is so darn scary with the operator. Now will be
Right.
in a duel. Now will be basically stuck in a dilemma. Does he take the chamber to play a little more passive and a little more setup, or does he still take the jet and risk not being able to run that operator to as much reign of terror as he might please?
It is a predicament that is on to the players after all. And yeah, with all the changes that have been happening, how exactly do the players also want to tackle all of these issues that are there? Be it, be it like if they want to change up the agent that they are playing. I mean, after all, we haven't seen it so far. But we may see a really brand new side of players when, if they choose to drop Jet. And yeah, your next substitute will be Raze, obviously, because they are considered the two dive agents in Valorant on attack. They are the spearhead of the attack, as I like to call it. They are the person making the first initial contact into the site. But let's
Yeah.
see what the selections are going to be from the players itself. It is going to be the map of Haven. Let's jump in to the agent selection screen and let's have a look at exactly the composition these teams are going for. I'm going to go, very, very standard and say it's going to be double initiator already with Harsh
It has to.
locking in the KO, Wimp going for the Sky. No changes with that. 100% makes sense. There isn't going to be a major change teams are going for when it comes to the map of Haven. On Split, we may see something other than a double initiator, but when it comes to the remaining two maps we have in this veto, as it always goes in South Asian Valorant, it is going to be double initiator, it is going to be a Sova, and then an initiator of choice. Here, we are seeing that choice being made. A KO versus Sky at times on, especially on Haven, a breach can be chosen as well. So, with all that being said and done, that yeah, so far this has been an extremely standard selection with one exception. That is going to be on the side of Revenant Esports. Ember has gone in for the Astra. So, no Omen and
No
no
Sova.
Sova. Okay, this is
Interesting.
very experimental right here. Yeah.
All right. I kind of, to some extent, expected this due to the nerf that Sova got, but still, on a map like Haven, I assumed he'd still retain a decent bit of that value due to the
Exactly.
dynamic information that he could provide to his team. So, on the side of Revenant, the only thing that maybe throws me a little off guard is they don't have so much solid information as such apart from maybe the tailblaze, because even the guiding light, it gives you passive information, right? It tells you that there's somebody in that vicinity, but you never know under which rock there might be something that you might need to trouble with. That's the important factor here. On the other side, reckoning, they've gone for that KO Silva duo. So I feel like, at least in the context of this map, I do prefer the Sova KO to a small extent. Also, it is understandable why this draft is out from the side of Revenant, right? It's a draft that makes sense on a lot of different aspects, but I could see this going either way. This is going to be a volatile matchup.
Yeah. I gotta agree that with the levels of experimentation we have, volatility is the correct term to use because both of the teams are going to be suffering a lot of ups and downs. Both of the teams may just be suffering a lot of like hot and cold phases where
Yeah.
either their experimental comp in the case of Revenant is really working out and they're absolutely hitting home all the factors that they had thought of and that they think would be strong points. But there would also be times where a lot more solid, a lot more tried and tested composition that Reckoning have gone for, considering the experience they have on this map, would be working, especially when you're looking to build momentum. The thing with Revenant's comp is that it's going to be a lot of like hit or miss. Either the rounds really go in your favor and the different agents you have selected contrary to the regular agents that would be chosen, having no Omen, having an Astra, the cosmic divide for a couple of the rounds can really be working in their favor. But there are going to be some times where it can backfire as well. Not having the paranoia that Omen carries means that how exactly can you get a defender or an attacker out of that specific corner that they are just hiding in, and you as a controller are all alone. Astra can, just go for one of her stars and go for like the gravity well or even the Nova, disorienting the person, but that would
Yeah.
mean that that's one less star being used in an execute, and that is the risk that Astra has to go for. So there are a lot of sacrifices that have to be made. As for Omen, he would just go for the paranoia, and that would mean he would still have his two smokes with him. So a lot of things to be considered. Reckoning are going for the tried and tested method, whereas Revenant Esports, they are ready to risk it all right here on the map of Haven.
I kind of get what you're saying as well. In terms of the utility that they need to dispose on the side of Revenant to flush out that kind of an aggression, it is a little costly, right? So if they, to some extent, misuse it, that's going to be a lot less that they have in terms of a trump card, especially when they then need to commit to a hold. Having that KO is going to be something that's very crucial that RGE need to fit in this puzzle early on, because with the way Revenant's draft is, it's heavily reliant on this utility buying a lot of chaos and space for plays to be made, and that's something that KO very beautifully is able to deny.
I mean, yeah, KO can deny all of that. And the thing is, he can set your team up as well. With the flashes and with the fragment that he has, he can not only like you mentioned, deny the defenders from using their own utility, but prevent them from pushing any said angle, or essentially like have them just entrapped in a place. Because if you have the fragment in front of you, you cannot really move, you are stuck there and you are just bait, and the attackers can wide swing you from many angles. You will be taking roughly a fair 50-50 gunfight, but your chances of survival decrease significantly as soon as your methods of escape go down with it. So we've theorized all we want. We've theory crafted all we want. Now, let's start the upper bracket semi-finals. Reckoning Esports up against Revenant Esports. Map number one, round number one. The pistols are here, and the pistols have been chosen. Ghosts, sheriffs, shields, classics, everything is there. Rio's shock dart deals quite a significant amount of damage to the members of Revenant Esports, who themselves are looking to deal damage in the form of executing very quickly on the bomb side before falling back. Deadly 10 gets an insane kill, a walking headshot. Wimp though gets a double. That's just with the classic and Revenant. They now have side control.
Yeah, completely locked out. This is going to be hard for RGE to walk themselves back into. Very little utility left for this retake. And Revenant are very, very disciplined. They're not overcommitting. Crossfire is going to be the name of the game. The paranoia on the back of that smoke's going to buy a little bit of room. Badlam's able to get that opening and then snap back to safety. It's all going to be left on him, though, as Pixels. Is he going to be able to get that shrouded step? No. Chooses the better of it. Has a little bit of time to then make this next move, which is going to be the more crucial one. Double peek. It's almost through, and they deal with it. And a little bit of hesitation with that second peak there, Ember, but they're closing it out. 1-0. A nice, valiant effort, though. This sheriff shot, dude, just
For this. How?
disgusting.
the thing was, I still liked one person really here, and that was Wim, because he got that 3K as a Sky. Now we saw that like the headshot that Deadliken got, it was onto Knight Rider. That was the Jet. That was your entry fragger gone. Instantly, Wim took up the role of taking initiative, and he got a double kill with the classic, and then got a final third in the round. It's not the final kill that I'm too interested about. It was the one. It was the first two. But now Ember, okay, had to spend 21 bullets right there to get rid of bad luck. But hey, a kill is a kill. That's what matters. And for the side of Reckoning Esports, it is going to be a thrifty round. They are on pistols. Not much you can expect from the defenders right here. Revenant will definitely have a very strong hold, but look at Deadly and how he's progressing. The problem is, though, Logista knows about it exactly. And yeah, even he took 17 bullets, but the job is done.
I mean, it's not a whiff as long as you get the kill, right?
Yes, that's what I say to all my teammates in rank and myself.
Well, this commitment towards this A side, there are two defenders here for sure, but I don't think there's gonna be that much opportunity for Reckoning to even find the opening. Pixels almost -1 to death, down to 17 HP. Trying to go for the push here, but it's a Valiant there. Nothing much they could do done with this kind of weaponry. Harsh double. I think that's the most that they could have bargained for, right? Get the double. Get the round. 2-0. And Revenant Esports, I'm not gonna be that disappointed if I'm a Revenant Esport fan as well, you know? Have enough money, they're gonna be able to then counter this buy with 3 Phantoms on Revenant. This is something that I really love what Revenant Esports are doing now. Considering that Valorant has significantly lesser rounds than other competitive titles out there, it's very important that you don't play that bonus in a way where you just give the other side a round for free. When there's shortages around to begin with, you don't ration such stuff away, right? Revenant Esports not playing that kind of a bonus. 3 of them already on Phantoms, which should be the game changer here. And I hope that this is what continues with them having the hot streak, because if not, that's Reckoning Esports with a ticket back into this game.
Absolutely so. Yeah, at the moment, Revenant Esports, you know, they have the momentum, but like you said, it can be stopped very well by the side of Reckoning, considering the fact that they've got that very sorry, considering the fact that they've got the bonus round right now, and keeping that in mind, the tables 100% can be turned. It's just going to be a matter of sustainability, because the initial 3 rounds, they are a lot of back and forths and back and forths. The pistol, it really is anything, no holds barred, like anything can happen. We saw the kind of shots, you know, that were made from the players with the sheriff and with the headhunter. So keeping that in mind, I'd say that yeah, a pistol is a lot of back and forth. Then you've got pretty much the anti-eco, you've got the bonus round, not much there to say unless there is a thrifty, which yes, it has happened many a times in South Asia. I mean that's it is what it is. The thrifties are a very interesting topic that for certain teams, you know, it's better to just ignore them, because certain teams have had very good history by getting thrifties, but there are times where many teams can fall for those as well. But overall, now, you know, for the time being, we are having a bit of a technical issue as well. I believe we were having it from the players' side at the start of the match as well. Hopefully it gets resolved. We have seen 2 very well executed rounds from the side of Revenant Esports, and nobody would like to stop their momentum, and nobody in Revenant Esports would like for their momentum to be stopped. At the same time, Reckoning as well, they may have hatched a plan that they would like to execute for this next round.
Yeah. The one thing I'm having in the back of my mind is this first half is a little important for Revenant. I feel like their setup is a little more of an advantage in the defense duty, at least if you do compare it to the side of Revenant. And Revenant's utility are in such a way where on this attack, if things go in tandem, which I'm talking about a complete pre-planned execute and a pre-planned strat, it's so much utility that they have to dump, and so much utility that they can then later on even hold with. You know, talk about having the killjoy on a map like this. something that you don't really see in ranked as often, but in pro play we've seen KJ be what more favored on Haven, right? This is a map where it's been arguable. We have other players like Rexy from Enigma Gaming who loves the Killjoy on a map like this, and a lot of players are on a similar pace, right? So I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. Given the Chamber is a versatile controller in the sense where he's also very proficient on the attack, like almost a secondary dealist to some extent, with him not having to need so much credits to be viable or to even have that lethality factor on him. So it's gonna be, I'm trying to think that RGE have the upper hand here, but it's going to be on results that prove it, right? Like, so far, Revenant
Right.
have been looking squeaky clean, and RGE, sure, they made the right play on most of those occasions, but sometimes the play is also down to how much room Revenant Esports are going to give you to exploit that kind of a play, which so far has been nada to a good extent.
That is true. That, yeah, it's not just about the plays which you make, like based on like strategic decisions, like whether to give up a side or play for a retake or to contest it head on while the execute is happening. It's got to come down to the gunfights you're taking as well, and this is a problem that can occur many a times. I'm not talking this like overall that one team is far better than the other. That's a different case. That's a very, very different example where you have an up and coming team, an amateur team up against professionals, where you have a big, big skill difference when it comes to like individual mechanical skill with how you take gunfights. I'm talking more about if it's just not your day, or if the situation you find yourself in while taking said gunfights are unfavorable, not based on strategic choices. Maybe your opponent got a really good flick. Maybe the positioning you had wasn't the best, or maybe your judgment was just wrong. If you are in a, let's put this hypothetical scenario, the map of Bind, A bomb site, there is that triple stacked box that's right there that people like to, go back and forth. That was just added. And right in front of the shower's entrance on the A bomb site. Now the thing is, if you are in a one versus one, and if your opponent is on like the other side to you, you have a choice. Either you peek left or you peek right. It's kind of 50-50. But at times, the thing is, your judgment can very well be wrong. You may peek left, your opponent goes right, they dash, they catch you off guard, they use a satchel, etc., etc. They flash you, whatever. So what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, it's not just about the strategic choices. Every single FPS shooter of the day also comes down to the micro decisions you are making on the spot, thinking of your player positioning and thinking and judging how a round is going to go, essentially.
Yeah. And with so many contrasting agents, like we mentioned before, this is not something that we get to witness every day, do we? Especially in South Asia. You expect a lot of teams to just have very standard compositions, maybe having one initiator that makes the difference, or maybe the controller. In this sense, with how it is with Astra versus Omen, the point that you did bring out prior makes a little more sense, but in a map like Haven, with most of the entrances being choke points, I do find the value that Astra could provide. I'm just thinking on the back of my mind, if we didn't have the equivalent of the jet, maybe the Rays would have made the difference. That could have been interesting to see. But regardless, man, it's a very, very interesting matchup that we have ahead, because it's not only in this map, right? We have a complete
Yeah.
of three maps to then decide who's going to take the dub and maintain this upper bracket supremacy to their way to victory. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is a tale that you need to wait for, as we're going to go for a short break and allow these issues to resolve themselves. We'll be right back.
From the legends of memory and storage, Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products, precision engineered for speed and stability. Crucial Ballistics. from the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It seems like we're gonna be very quick to be underway with this game. It's gonna continue like it stopped off 2-0, except we will still need to just, wait for Bad Love and hope that he comes back as soon as possible, because both RGE and Revenant Esports understand the essence of time, and they both need to get this matchup underway. And
Yes.
a 4v5, a small disadvantage for RGE, as they're gonna be missing a crucial piece of the puzzle, which was the chamber that Bad Love was trying to run, which might just force them to play a little ultra aggressive. Let's see how Revenant Esports are able to read out such aggression and pan it out.
Yeah, again, Battle of, it seems like right from the start, he was having a couple of tech issues and not been able to resolve it in the specified amount of time. So for the time being, Reckoning are going for that 4 versus 5, but they're doing good work. Rio gets the opening kill. Now Knight Rider gets him back, and Hush is holding down the bomb site, but no, even he'll go down. And for the time being, it is going to be a 2 versus 3. Deadly, great spot right there. Catches Ember off guard, flicks onto Knight Rider. But in this case, it's going to be this Jet on the side of Revenant Esports who takes the cake. 1 versus 1, a minute on the clock, lot of time. Logista, though. Pixels has no idea about this Killjoy's location, and that is the biggest advantage Killjoy has. Now, what is Logista gonna do? Goes on to the sheriff. Pixel speaks. Oh my god! No way he gets the headshot! What? In the middle of the teleportation, Logista figured out where Pixels was, tagged him, but no, it was the Omen that got the last laugh.
What? Oh god, let's we need to see that again. What in God's name was that? Again, this first kill, very nice, very heads up stuff. That TP on the back of that final smoke. I feel like if maybe Logista could have played a little faster, might have had the upper hand, but again, that's only because of retrospect and hindsight, right? We have the privilege of
Right.
having both sides offered to us in a silver platter. Pixels had no inkling as to where Logista could come from. It could come from garage, could come from A, could come from C. You never really have that heads up play unless you're very accurate with your information. That was something that they didn't have just due to the way these fast trades went. That's kind of their X factor, right? They need these fast trades to facilitate those big plays. Maybe a person getting a double, just like Pixels did there in the final moments. They need those kind of fast plays to make sure that they're able to capitalize on small things Revenant Esports throws their way to then get the upper hand.
They absolutely can. It's all about, exploiting any vulnerability that Revenant have, and yeah, like you said, capitalizing on any potential advantage that is there for the side of Reckoning, and they have to keep on doing it in tandem with while they're waiting for Bad Love to rejoin, because that is going to be a major point of concern for their roster overall. But Knight Rider, in the meanwhile, it's not just a point of concern, he's a full fight marker right here in front of us. Deadly 10, unfortunate. When it comes to that dash, happens to the best of us, dashes right into the crosshairs of Vim, and Vim will be sure to get that kill. So will Knight Rider. Yes, Reckoning Esports are down on numbers, and the fact that it's going to be a retake scenario with Rio being the only one alive doesn't make it any better. His location, thanks to the Seekers, is now known. He'll be holding the angle, waiting for Knight Rider. Gets another kill. Good stuff. But he's still against 3 members of Revenant, one of whom is just sneaking up from behind, and Rio had no idea. Quick and simple round. Revenant Esports take the win. And OG, okay, you know how you were mentioning that Reckoning may have to exploit any vulnerability that is there on the side of Revenant? This to me feels like Revenant doing the opposite thing. They know Reckoning don't have adequate manpower. That's why they're just heavy hitting the bomb sites early on in order to prevent those rotations, because with less manpower, it obviously will take a lot longer to rotate to a specific bomb site. It feels like Revenant Esports, they are really honing in on the fact that they've got a 5 versus 4.
More importantly, the chamber that's missing, right? So information is going to be absent on the side of Reckoning, which disables them from making such rotation, such plays, such commitment to a site, which might give them a small edge. Although Rio has an inkling that this could be a setup to it be, and they've completely abandoned the A side on the back of Deadly's aggression, which might either very well pay off its rewards, or it's gonna be like a flat tire in the middle of the road. Something that you did not really want to have a smooth journey. Oh, he spots him. He spots him. Doesn't want to force that fight. Ember's on the other end, though. Now he's out of the blades. Now he's out of luck. And he's just synced up.
Oh my god, you did. Jesus, that is lethal.
Salty.
Lethal, man. Yeah. Oh, anyways, Reckoning now. They have all fallen back to defender spawn, so they are unsure where the hit is. And only now do Revenant Esports reveal that it's going to be a B plan. But what can really Reckoning do? I mean, they don't have the best of guns other than Pixels, who's got that Vandal right now. It's early on, yeah, it's a weak enough buy to an extent. I mean, yeah, it's just upgraded pistols. It's a semi-buy, is what I'd call it. But the good thing is they've got utility. Now, do they go for the play using utility and the ultimates they have, the reserve utility that they've got with them? Or do they just leave it for another round where they will have better guns? It seems like they are trying to go for the peaks, and Pixels once more with that Vandal will be successful. But overall, too much time has been run out, and that's going to be 2 final kills, helping Revenant secure it. This will be round number 4 in the bag for the attackers.
Revenant are looking to make this as quick as possible. They want to grab these rounds as they come down the river. They have their ultimates synced up as well. They have the Blade Storm. They have the Lockdown, more importantly. On the other side, Pixels, Harsh, and Rio have their ultimates. So it's very well possible that Reckoning Esports could use it on a round like this. You know, buy a little bit of time before they have their player back on the server. And this is a way that they can not only buy time, but buy another round, more importantly. Double setup towards the side, and it still doesn't pan out in their favor. Deadly, I think he's flirting with danger just a little too much. The close peek, and Harsh is able to deal with it. They're able to deal with it in tandem, mind you. They shut down this aggression, and it's boiled down to 3v3.
They completely halted Revenant Esports and any and all hopes they had of executing onto the C bomb side. I mean, you had the Spearhead, you had the Dive Agent, you had Knight Rider, who dived into the bomb side. But as soon as he was killed, the other members, they could not progress forward because, again, the fragment prevented them. Ember, the last that remains on the C bomb side, really out in the open, very vulnerable position. Wouldn't have recommended taking such an open gunfight. But then again, he wasn't expecting 2 members there, I guess. Rio goes for that Hunter's Fury, spots Logista, tags him once, but now in this 2 versus 3 scenario, how long can the likes of Revenant Esports hold off this retake? Because Deadly 10 is right here in heaven. He's got a fallback now. He will be detained for certain. So it is a 2 versus 2 for the time being, and exactly what Revenant are looking for. It is going to be wastage of time.
He doesn't have that tailwind, my man. It's going to be a little harder for him now. The flash, Rio, he's not able to find that frag on a Wimp. Wimp is low on HP, so it leaves a lot on Logi's hands. Logi, he does good to get the first. They have to play each other. They have to play off each other now, and that is crucial. Gets off the tap, and the double swing. They find it in the gap. Ooh. They find the tap on the spike, and they're able to grasp this round. That just went so close to a Revenant victory. But Deadly, even though he was the player who got locked down, boy did he lock out this retake.
Oof. They secured it. They secured it. That's what matters. And now, Reckoning Esports, they've got a foot in the door when it comes to, you know, getting back on the winning streak. But another problem rises. This time, it's ultimates on the side of the opposition. Revenant have got the Cosmic Divide. The Bladestorm, okay, I mean, yeah, Knight Rider, be it any gun, he can move forward and get kills. I mean, right now, we will be seeing a live example. Yep, we just saw a live example of that. That was when the Phantom gets the headshot onto Rio. And that's another person on the side of Reckoning down. It's more about the Cosmic Divide and the Rolling Thunder that Revenant have got, which will be a problem. As, wait a minute. Hurt just walked into that smoke, got a kill, and now, yes, he gets traded out. But how in heavens did he manage to get that? Wimp, though, gets pixels through the smoke, and Reckoning, well, it's all down to Deadly.
What does he even do in a position like this? Save? Team money is not really their strong point at the moment. Neither is their ultimates. Deadly does manage to swoop maybe a kill and then bite the dust. He will have his blades for the round coming forth. So not only will he have a little bit of how do I put this, economic prosperity, because he will get that death bonus, but more crucially, he'll also be on blades, which allows him to be a little more mobile and lethal. Chooses to go on the save though. So, it seems like he does want to carry forward that gun for the next round. Ember has that astral wall as well, so that's going to be very, very big, especially in the context of when you have that 5 versus 4 off the get-go, right? When you have that astral wall up and take that control, it becomes far more harder to then retake off an inherent disadvantage when the post plan's set that easily.
Yeah, that's the thing, that with you having already such a disadvantageous position in a post plan, and then you have more stuff right there that the attackers are throwing at you instead of taking let's say like passive post plan positions where they're just waiting in a corner trying to use their utility, something like a Sova would certainly go for, you know, with the shock darts and these drones. Attackers are still holding aggressive angles. It means all the more harm to you because you have to actively take those gunfights. Now moving on, round number 8. From Reckoning, not the best by Ember. He misses Harsh, and Harsh. Oh, no way. He gets the kill. Rio has been concussed, and Knight Rider is going to be pushing into the bottom side. That's the end for Rio. Yeah, he had no way of redemption right there. But there is Deadly 10 on the flank. And Revenant are very well aware of that. The person they are trying to find is the person on our screens right now. That's going to be Harsh, and even his location is known. So it is a 2 versus 3. Can happen, but the thing is that the gunfights really have to go in favor of Reckoning, which they do to an extent. All down to Harsh. No armor. Big problem. Beautifully isolates one gunfight and gets the headshot on the Star God, leaving the Jet all alone. Oh.
That came close. Revenant Esports. Trading numbers, they're cool, but you don't really want to fan the fire like this, do you? And Bad Love has reconnected, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We have our man on the server. We have the chamber. The Reckoning Esports need and deserve. 6-2, they have the room to make it back. In a situation like this, you just cut your losses short and you focus on taking this W in the marathon. Without worrying too much about the small race. Steady. Oh, he tried to go for that wall bank shot. Doesn't manage to land it. Knight Rider, a little bit of room on the back of that cloudburst. I'm not sure if Deadly had the room to watch his transition. So Knight Rider has like a small advantage if they do decide to play aggressive. So Bad Love, he not able to spot out Ember. Big stuff. They do trade it out. And this, a lot of ultimates on a round like this for Revenant. They're going to be interested in investing some of them.
Off your feet!
They will be, and they already are going to the investment. And again, wait, he gets the bleed storm. Oh no, that must have really hurt. That was a big problem right there. A big mistake, because for the side of Reckoning Esports, this practically is a done and dusted round. Revenant had control of the entire bomb side. And it doesn't seem to be a way that the defenders can get back. I mean, the Cosmic Divide preventing anything from being seen or being heard. Not to mention Ember.
Oh no!
Who just pushed in, but it's going to be his own Cosmic Divide that leads to his own demise. Unfortunate, but hey, here's Knight Rider with the operator. He gets that shot, and that's going to be another kill, meaning that Harsh is going to be the only person on the side of Reckoning Esports who will be moving on forward into the next round with a gun being bought. Otherwise, economically, problems for Reckoning.
I'm not sure what the call was there for Reckoning. I'm not sure why Pixels committed to, you know, even trying in a position like that. It could have been better off saving 2 rifles, right? Makes more sense, so at least as a whole. And now, all in all, Revenant Esports, a lot of momentum gained, a lot of grounds gained on this first half. One thing I'm truly scared about, CCV, is the fact that once we get to see Revenant Esports on the defense, if they are comfortable playing the retake game, they have a lot of retake utility to then play it out with. The amount of utility that they have in their arsenal is mind-boggling, and that is something that you simply can't, you know, commit to a site with and hope for the best once you're on the hold. Those are very hard calls to make. Bad Love, even a harder call to make as he's trying to play with danger. Ooh. And he is able to find Knight Rider from the sky. Man advantage of the bat, and a very crucial round for them to find it end. They do flood the B side here, and that is time for Reckoning Esports to now set up for the post plant.
Yeah, I mean, Reckoning Esports, they were completely correct in their bet to just hog down the C bomb side. But Revenant Esports, they realized what the thing was. They quickly repositioned to B, and yes, every one of the attackers in their location is known, but the thing is, they can attempt and go for the kills, which is exactly what they're going for. With Bad Love being off the board, the Torre Force is gone, the one-shot kill weapon is off as well. Revenant Esports, if they can get another gunfight on board, this can be a good round, but Reckoning are going to be pressurizing them from every single angle possible, with every single bit of utility as well. Look at that, Paranoia hits Logista. He doesn't know what's going on. He's gonna die by the hands of Pixels. It's all down to Ember, who has to fight off against 3 defenders looking to defuse the spike. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3! That right there is the power of an Astra in correct positioning.
Ember burns them to a crisp. Oh my goodness. You can still see the smoke off his mouse pad. That was so on point. Through the smoke, he finds the third. Whew. So close to the wire. Reckoning Esports, if they only committed to taking that fight when they could. There was so much hesitation when it was a 1 versus 3 Ember. Everything, all the stars aligned for him to find success, ironically being the Astra player.
Aha, nice one.
Oh.
Oh, he was fully flashed. Yeah, it's the UI thing, but if any viewer was thinking, no, Bad Love was entirely flashed.
This is timing though, and that's what Bad Love needs to find. If Knight Rider doesn't clear towards short, that being Deadly, my bad. Yeah. Real? Why is he knife out? Okay, he's waiting for his time to pop the ultimate. It's a little bit of a bother because Knight Rider's position is up close and personal, and he's able to find the punish though. 3v3, they're able to commit that overload, which now puts a halt to this utility. Revenant had to offer, and Deadly's position still a major trump card. This post plan's gonna be so hard if Logi's not able to get that lockdown down. And it's yet again on the Ember, positioning though not his friend. Yep.
Oh, he gets one, but no, Reckoning Esports. Great round from their side, and Deadly 10 was the linchpin. Now, Revenant just entirely forgot about. I mean, they forgot to check A shot. I guess they weren't expecting anyone to be there. But yeah, with the kind of attack they were going for, you can kind of justify not checking A shot. They were just flooding the bomb site as soon as possible because they wanted to get control, because they knew no one was in the bomb site. But then again, Revenant could have really done a better job of clearing out the angle, because with Deadly 10 just still being near that area, he flanked two members of Revenant so easily, and it meant that the remaining teammates of his and every single member from Reckoning just went into the bomb site very easily without any hassles whatsoever. And in a post-plant scenario, that is one of the worst things that can happen to you as an attacker. The defenders getting free reign into the bomb site. But regardless, previous round is done. This right here is going to be the final round of the first half. The final round before the side swap takes place. So credit economy doesn't matter at all. Spend it all you want. Ults as well, use them, don't use them, doesn't matter. It's going to be reset anyways. And now, exactly for that reason, the Revenant are taking it very slow. They are just waiting it out to see what exactly do Reckoning go for.
Get out of my way.
Reckoning Esports, they're trying to maybe get a little bit of information, but Rio's drone commitment could have saved it for that post plant maybe. This mid push, Ember again being the difference maker, but he's only able to make so much of a difference as Deadly quickly takes him out of the equation. Up drop, quick play from Knight Rider enables him to get that kill. Operator out in the hand, jumps out for the next angle. Harsh more than prepared. Deadly needs to bite his time. Now he needs to make Loki bite the blade. Ooh, and he did. Eats it like a darn apple. That's gonna push you closer to the doctor than to death. Revenant Esports, they're still so aggressive on this post plant that I understand that it maybe was a 4v5, but in this kind of a situation you see the aggression completely punished, right? This is what it normally looks like.
Yeah, I mean, Reckoning have really seemed to gotten a hold of how exactly the likes of Revenant Esports were going for on their own attacks, and you know what their strategy was. The thing was that this over-aggression wasn't working anytime. Sorry, wasn't working anytime. But the thing was, the major change it happened was, in my mind, after Battle of Join. Why? When I had said, you know, after that one specific round, when the likes of Revenant just pushed into the bomb site, because they knew that the rotations wouldn't be quick enough from Reckoning. That was because it was a 4 versus 5. Yeah, obviously, when you have a large map like Haven is, the rotations are going to be slow when you are down on manpower. That wouldn't be the case anymore when you're back up on numbers and when you're just going for the same take every single time. One good thing being changed from the side of Revenant was that they were changing the bomb sites. You know, we were seeing them go on C bomb side, on B, on A. That inconsistency was a good factor because it always kept the likes of Reckoning on their toes. The problem was that it was the same method of attack every single time. Be it any bomb site, they were always just full on rush mode, going for it, and that eventually led to Reckoning figuring it out and ending the half 4-8, which is not that bad. It's not end of the world bad, but Reckoning will still have to put in a little bit of work to recover, essentially.
Revenant Esports, a very fast commitment towards the C side, and that's exactly where Revenant Esports want to duke it off. The utility, the aggression. So far, it's panned out for Revenant Esports, and Reckoning understandably concede. They need to take that spike. They need to head somewhere else. They can't fight this fist to fist, blow to blow. They need to find a better way to approach this round now. They're able to fall back cool, but this has given Revenant Esports a good window to then reposition. Things just don't seem to get any easier.
It's not. Shadow, one, no, okay. Oh, he recovered from that. That was an excellent recovery right there. He made up for it. He certainly did. And now it's all down to bad luck. 3 bullets, 1 headshot, and that's going to be that. Once more, Revenant Esports get the pistol round, and OG, I think everyone can realize that this is a big problem for Reckoning. We'll wait for the next round to go on, but with how it seems likely to be, it feels like it's going to be like your general anti-eco round, right? Where the team who have gone for Spectre's full armor, they end up winning. And if that's the case, it means that Revenant will already be on double digits and Reckoning will still be on 4. A big deficit that Reckoning have to catch up on.
They're gonna be on the verge of double digits, cool. But that's only if we don't get that closer, right? Let's see how far that's gonna hold value. Bad Love has that headhunter, so he's the one who's gonna be able to make somewhat of a difference. Although Rio, at range, finds that kill with the classic. Just pushing Rio out with utility is able to get him with the gunplay, and it's all on a pixels. Has a shorty, and this is a sneaky little TP. Then bait the close range fight. Night Rider just pops across trap. Logi gonna be wiser than tail, and double digits, like you said, CCV. This aggressive setup now we need to see if is gonna continue. Because on a round like this, where they might be playing the bonus, I still find the point in aggression. But considering that past 2 rounds, that's something that Reckoning Esports are going to have a keen eye out for. So it's going to be harder to find success with the similar game style.
Absolutely so. Yeah, you can't keep on repeating stuff, and after the side swap as well, Reckoning Esports, before the side swap, it showed that they know how to counter a specific standard playstyle if Reckoning go for it. Revenant go for. Revenant have to constantly be changing their playstyle in order to constantly keep on, let's say, bamboozling the likes of Reckoning members. That right there is one of the keys to essentially winning it out. But now, we've got another round. Reckoning have opted for rifles. They've made a heavy investment into this round. And so far, they've just gone for information. They've just pushed up slowly near the bomb sites, going into garage. We can see the owl drone goes there as well, scanning out anything that's happening in garage. And then Reckoning can push up. They are not looking to go heavy-handed. This is the opposite of what we were witnessing from Revenant. I guess in a way, Reckoning also looking for Revenant to go for an aggressive push. Not happening. Everything is at a standstill, but now Scar got peeks wide, and he's going to get a drop onto Bad Love, who made a nice decision. Even though he was concussed, he chose to peek that off angle. Unfortunately, it didn't go his way. And now we move on to the final 35 seconds.
Ember's position, though, is big. It's massive, and he's able to find it first. At least draws a little bit of time, aggression, and buys all the rewards for Revenant. Trade it out. They played distant. Rio not in the vicinity to get that trade, and just played around within those final few seconds. This is the calculated aggression that Revenant Esports needed to take in a round like this. They weren't given the luxury, like in the pistol round, like in the bonus round, to just press W and expect, a big W in return. This time they needed to be a little smart. With the way Scargod took his fights, with the way Logi took his fights on the back of Ember's position. Very crucial adjustments being done to close this game out as early as possible. Because Revenant Esports know that as soon as they give room to RGE, that's going to be their loss. That's going to be something that's going to be very unfortunate if they have to fight back from it. And hence they won't.
Yep. They are trying to fight back, but it just seems a very difficult battle right now. It's always interesting to see the jet go off and just running whenever there's a gunfight instead of initially dashing like it used to be. But once more, Knight Rider picking the same angle after what has happened on the B bomb side. Everyone has their attention right there. The Jester peeks the angle, spots the jet, gets the kill. Just Sheriff versus Vandal. Not much you can do. Reckoning are down to 3 members right now. Yes, they still stay on 3. Revenant also taking a couple of hits. Excellent kill from Pixels. And now he swings back. but it won't go his way 2 times in a row. One's the charm, and for the side of Revenant, 1-1 is their score. They're looking to increase it further, get match point, get their opposition's map, and they are fairly close. Reckoning are going to move into the bomb side, and Wimp gets visual confirmation, although the problem is he doesn't survive. So a little bit of a problem for the side of Revenant is that they will have to go for this retake scenario with everyone going for a retake, and not having someone already near the bomb site.
Nasty flick though to get things started off. Rio has the angle to see. Oh god, he's finding these frags like they're nothing. This is such a big play that Ember now needs to commit to. Doesn't have an inkling of Harsh's position. Taps on the defuse and he baits it out. I'm actually surprised Harsh even went for that peek. He'd rather try playing it passive, gamble on it being a fake. Ember finds that frag, but sensational work being done by Rio.
Match point.
Unfathomable shots that he's able to connect with the Marshall, especially against that operator on Knight Rider. I assume that as soon as he peeks that, he's a dead man. And when the blades got out, I'm like, yeah, easy round. Far from it. Reckoning Esports still making them work, so it kind of gives me hope for map 2 and map 3. Although I fear that the deficit that they had early on might have just hampered their ability to take the W in this best of 3.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not just the deficit right now, but also like the psychological mentality. But never mind, it's going to be a physical shot from Deadly 10. Secure the first kill. Logista in the smoke. No one knows about this. Can he get an easy kill? Yeah, he for sure can, but now he's gonna get hunted down. This is a thing you would do on an eco round, not right now. But Revenant still maintain numbers. That's the good thing. The ultimates are there on on both of the teams and on many of the members. You know, on Reckoning, everyone has their ults ready. Stargod though isolates one gunfight, looking for another. The spray transfers there. He goes for the flash as well, and now you have Ember pushing in from Garage. It's all down to Deadly 10. He's concussed, doesn't have his dash, has his ult, but can't do anything. Revenant Esports, they will be securing the first map of this upper bracket semi-finals.
Defenders win.
NTs though, dude, like,
Yeah.
all things said and done, it was a valiant effort from what RGE had to work with for the majority of this first map, right?
Right.
Even on a couple of rounds, they were able to make that 4 versus 5 down to a very, very close and doable 1 versus 1. That's not the easiest task, especially when it's a pro setting. If it's a pug, yeah, I get it, dude. Sometimes a lot of players do extend and give away fights where they don't even have any advantage to begin with. But this is a completely different story in and of itself. So
Right.
Revenant Esports also have to give it to them in terms of the composition that they had to bring on the board, right? This is one of the, I think, one of the most fun maps that we've got to witness only because of the composition. If the scoreline was a little different, it could have been a different story. And we talk so much about the scoreline. Let's quickly relive with the highlights as to how this map chop was kind of close, even though the scoreline was suggesting it's a whitewash. We got to see a lot of innovative stuff, a lot of bamboo and stuff from either side.
There was a lot of that. It was a match that had a lot going on. Tech issues were there as well. Reckoning had to solve them. So one can only wonder what was going on in their own call that they were in. That all the members and the coach were in. Like, what were they discussing? Was it always just strategy? Because obviously they were thinking about and waiting for Badlov to rejoin for the temporary period that he was gone. So there was a lot that was going on with Reckoning, but still, yeah, it could have been a better performance overall. They gave it their best, but in the end, Revenant just too quick with it, man. Except for a couple of problems that were seen towards the last stages of the first half from the side of Revenant Esports. The thing was that they were looking near flawless. I mean, there wasn't much to be said with how they were performing. The composition, they executed it perfectly. They knew the imperfections they had, but at the same time they knew how to use it to their strong point. The utility usage was one of my favorite things. I mean, yeah, there were a couple of cyberbullying moments where you had a member from Reckoning all alone in a corner, and they had the flash hitting them. They had the breach utility, whether it be the aftershock or it'd be the fault line. They were concussed and this and that. And yeah, that was just like
Ooh.
Revenant knowing exactly how to overuse their utility, but at the same time, some insane shots as well. We just saw Embers 1 versus 3. This was Knight Riders 2K that he got with the Sheriff, and insane performances through and through from all 10 of the members.
It's only map 2 that's gonna actually give justice to this upper bracket dream that both these teams have, right? Pretty sure that
Mhm.
Revenant Esports as well were looking forward to a closer matchup, considering the context of this matchup is for both teams to then go down to that lower bracket and then sweat it out against a very, very questionable EG. You do not want to tamper with a team that's looking to be in that form right now. You don't know what you can expect, and maybe this is the best two teams that could represent it after taking that fight with M42, right? Both sides, at least on the back of this entire tournament, have proven to us that are very dynamic, can throw a curveball if necessary, which is something that we always love to see, don't we? This time we got to see a nice curveball in terms of a very contrasting draft. Now imagine we have something like maybe a neon coming up in a map that's yet to be played in this best of three. That could certainly be something to look forward to because it changes the dynamic quite a bit, and that's what puts up such the opportunity to make such plays, right? We've seen that 1v3, we've seen those nasty sheriff kills. Normally, when it's a mirror draft, you don't really see either team being that comfortable taking such aggression, such maneuvers, and such plays.
Right.
Because even if they do pay off, it's very equal arsenal on the other side to punish you. So you're not really able to play to your own strengths as much as you'd like.
Yeah, because that's the thing that when it's mirror compositions, the strengths are there. You know exactly how to capitalize off them. But the problem is, so do your opponents, so does your opposition. They know how you're going to perform. Therefore, you have to try something out of the ordinary. And that may not always be 100% secure. That may not be 100% the best. What 100% for sure was the best were the performances from these lads in front of our screens. And yeah, Knight Rider 285 average combat score, Deadly 10, 269 average combat score, 19 kills, 15 kills. Safe to assume Jet versus Jet was thoroughly entertaining and it was really good. But every single member contributed. You can't really count Padlov because he wasn't in the server for the majority of the time for a lot of the rounds. So, not seeing that, but seeing the other members as well, all of them have such consistent numbers in the kills and also in the deaths. They have a minimal amount of them. And this is what I'm talking about for all of the players on the side of Reckoning and on the side of Revenant as well, is that it has been a very consistent performance. And that is something I love to see when it comes to how the teams have been playing. And no matter the overall score, like, yeah, this wasn't the best showcase from the side of Reckoning Esports, but the fact that they still got good individual performances means that it was just a bit of team synergy that was a little bit lackluster, be it for any reasons, be it for the tech issues or in general anything else, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's something they can rectify not only on the back of a map too, but also a quick break that we'll be now heading into, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Challenger Series, powered by ZOTAC and Crucial. Do check the links below to check out some of our amazing sponsors to make this tournament happen. And while you're at it, scan that code and get your own can of Red Bull to enjoy the second map with, because the energy is going to be there as all 10 players duke it out on the server. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics. The legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Challenger Series, powered by ZOTAC and Crucial. This has been a one-sided affair to some extent, although RGE not completely bowing out of the fight. We get
Right.
things done and dusted with over at Haven, and now we approach a split in the road and in this journey, because this is the last chance for Reckoning Esports to keep their upper bracket dream alive, and they need to win it out on Revenant Esports' map pick. So that's going to be a game changer.
Absolutely so. Yeah. The side of Reckoning Esports, they will be going on the road not taken since there is a split, and they have to go all guns blazing. Hopefully, in the little break that they had right now, they sorted all of the issues that they would have had to overcome. And by issues, I don't mean whatever mistakes they were making in game, like missing your shots or like I know having poor positioning. Those are individual mistakes. What I'm
Yeah.
referring to is psychologically as a team, Reckoning may not be completely there yet because they've had so much to deal with today. First it was, and the main instigator, in my opinion, one of the root causes was, Bad Love and him not being there due to tech issues for a solid, how much was it, OG? Like 4 rounds, 5 rounds, something along the lines of that, right?
Yeah,
So whatever, 4 5 rounds, you're playing a 4 versus 5, and that eventually led to the consequence of you losing out on your own map and you being down a map in a best of 3 where you are fighting to stay in the upper brackets, where you are fighting to go into the upper bracket finals against Velocity. So obviously it's going to be affecting the entirety of Reckoning, like their entire roster and their coach Sharky as well. Everyone has been affected by it to some extent. It is a fact. This is what happens in teams. So the only concern I have is hopefully the likes of Reckoning Esports have managed to talk it through, because now they had a full on, free time out to talk with each other. The game wasn't going on. The first map was over. And in the time that they were talking to each other, hopefully they've resolved all of it. And now that Bad Love is here as well, he has been with us for the better part of the previous map as well. Hopefully we can get going, and hopefully we can start off split as soon as possible alongside the agent selection, and we can see a brand new side of Reckoning, because losing 13-4 isn't really them. They are on par with Revenant Esports. Let's jump into the map of split. Let's start off the selection process.
for sure. This map does offer a fair contrast when you do get to decide which kind of controller you do get to take, because this is another map where Astra to some extent is viable. So I'm going to be interested to see if Revenant Esports are going to be the team that, oh, Scar got. He has taken out the
Ooh.
neon. Let's go. This is going to be, I'm expecting another chamber on the side of Revenant Esports, because a map like Split definitely room to make that operator work. And they have 2 initiators, they have 1 controller, so it does make sense that they do take that chamber, which Knight Rider does end up picking up. And Pixels, I know he's playing with us too. They already have that Jet and Raze. You really do not need another Neon unless you want a blue recon dart that doesn't go
Unless,
away in 5 seconds.
I mean, oh, Reckoning, like, you know what?
Choose
They
your
are trying to
agent.
one up Reverend. They're like, oh, Reverend, you're going for Sky Breach and Astra agents you don't usually see. Guess what? We'll go triple. Oh no, okay. Never mind.
You got bamboozled.
But no initiators on the side of Reckoning. Still a quite interesting, comp that they've gone for double duelist and double sentinel. No initiators on split. Can it be done? I mean, yes, but you still need the Sova. I mean, there have been times we have seen double initiator, but this is one of the things about split that really intrigues me as a caster and as a viewer, not as a player really. That there is so much option and there is so much variety for the teams, variety which you won't usually find in other maps such as Haven and Ascent, where it's a very, very standard, very, very vanilla kind of Valorant. I guess that's the term I'm looking for, vanilla Valorant. But yeah, Split already we have seen that once more you're going to be going for double sentinel and double duelist. You'll be leaving initiator apart, and these teams have just gone from going from double initiator to none. Well, at least for Reckoning they have. So a very major difference that they have made in their playstyles. And let's see how it pans out as we move on forward with the pistol round starting very, very soon.
And you know, one of the most unique things we're gonna get in this map, especially,
Yeah.
Every single player is playing a different agent. A very, very interesting matchup, and this is what we were waiting for ever since the very beginning. A push inside now on the pistol, and a very fast push. He just W'd his way through Deadly's corpse, and they found the A side just in the matter of seconds.
Yeah, already the likes of Revenant Esports are right here. They are still trying to keep off Reckoning, who are very close to the bomb site, on the brink of it. And this is the problem, because Reckoning, they don't have to spend time rotating over. They can just attack the bomb site. Exactly what they're doing. Vim still survives. Pixels, no, he misses his shots, empties the magazine, and that's his soul emptied out of his body. It's all down to Rio. 1 versus 2. The good thing is his opponents are very low on HP. B-hopping his way through the bomb site, places the alarm board. Still, he's in the corner. Cannot use his utility now. Has probably been concussed by that fault line. No, he hasn't. He's still alive, kicking about, but time is running out. What can he do? He goes for the reload. Right click doesn't work, and it's gonna be Ember getting the final kill. Revenant Esports, they get the win in the first round.
Let's go. Oh, so gruesome. Straight up drive-by. That's what we love to see, don't we? ScarGod, the only player who's picked up the Neon in the Challenger series so far. And it shows us why he's the only player who's done so. Talk about slide into your DMs. ScarGod, the most slyest manner in which he could have done it. So close. This is so doable. This weapon is built for such. Oh, no. Yeah. Tried his best, but he couldn't succeed there, my friend. And oh
My
no!
God.
Can you imagine the salt? Can you imagine the pain? Imagine your own teammate Shorty being used against you in that fashion.
Ooh, ScarGod knows. Yeah, he knows to back off Reckoning. They've got the 2 duelists remaining. But again, it's the eco round. Bad luck, great headshot from him. This can cost now. So like, yeah, there's not much you can do when you've got pistols up against Spectres. You've got the Sheriff now. Oh, another great headshot, and he is making quick work of the lives of Revenant. Considering ScarGod is also on like practically no HP, 1 shot to the body or the foot means imminent death. This can be an expensive round for Revenant if they don't play it correctly, and they really have to be careful with tackling this final member because he's got nothing to lose. But this was a great bait play. Yeah, exactly. Sound cue was given, lure him in, and then strike. So round done and dusted, 2 dead bodies, fine enough. But more importantly, Reckoning Esports are the ones who will be going all into this round. This is going to be their full buy, no holds barred. The entire team now only has 200 credits remaining, which means that if they happen to lose this round, it's going to be eternal doom. But I don't think Reckoning will quite go for that. I think they can manage, and they surely will manage to win their full buy against Spectres.
This is gonna be a crucial round, and I've seen the side of Revenant often force into a round like this, play less of a bonus to some extent. So that could be what changes the deal. The close range fight, and ScarGod almost found the upper hand of it. Night Rider close in proximity to find that trade cool, but they've still not gained control, which is the more crucial aspect of the boat. Badlove has utility, so he can still flush Ember back, which puts this push to a grinding halt. Although Reckoning Esports, they need to be ready, as Revenant Esports are very volatile in their approach. It's left them scarred and left Logi with an all to do 1 versus 3. If he plants the spike, it's almost like a death trap, right? I think he wants to maybe try playing a little aggressive here, find the advantage. Hell, he upgrades weaponry. A small W, but these are the small W's he needs to take for this road up the clutch. It's not going to be easy. Information is going to be there on the side of Reckoning because they have the turret right around the corner. And 30 seconds left. Not a lot of time to bamboozle them, but just about enough time to maybe make one decisive move. That's the only opportunity he has.
Gonna be going for it. I mean, he is all alone in the B-bomb side. Good thing for him, he's got the spike. So he forces out the hand of Reckoning with them having to go into the bomb side. But look at that, there's one person in garage. That's going to be the raise. Swings wide, Logista. Ooh, great headshot right there. Can he isolate another gunfight? Then we may just see another 1 versus 3 clutch like we did on Haven. Slowly deep spots another player. That's another kill done. Oh, he almost had it. Almost being the key word and the only word. Reckoning Esports, they managed to take their first round. But OG, this was expensive. 4 rifles gone.
Important.
Oof.
Here.
4 rifles gone. Logi and Ember have their ultimates up already, dude. This is gonna be the harder round now for Reckoning to close out. And Revenant Esports are gonna be very, very happy, like you said, with the way the past round went, right? Came down to the 1 vs 1, cool. But even on the back of that spike plant, they get a little more juice for making a very nice overtake here. Revenant Esports, weaponry might be a small deficit. You can see Ember having to sacrifice not only in terms of weaponry but also in terms of shields. Knight Rider will have the option to play only Headhunter, and trust me, when you're gonna play at this rank with a weapon like the Headhunter, equally as lethal, you'd be more than comfortable with those 8 bullets you have to get that 1 kill, or wait for maybe your teammate to die, then to scavenge his gun.
Scar God, oh my god, he's gonna be leaving bodies, the scavengers, to pick on. That's Animal Kingdom reference studied in 4th grade. Now, you've got Bad Love, who forces out the attackers from right here, from vents, and they gotta go back. A good thing is that the attackers cannot always go for aggression. And that's the main thing, is that Reckoning are trying their best to restrict just the sheer amount of map control Revenant can get early on. And that is a very, very good thing. Reckoning 100% have to go for it. The only question that Reckoning can have at times is that they don't know where Reckoning are hitting, but now they certainly do. It's going to be a B hit. Revenant, all of them push into the bomb site. They get a free bomb site. No price, nothing, no utility whatsoever. The defenders are purely playing on retake, but the problem is they have no ultimates to play with. They just are relying on positioning.
This Cosmic Divide, though, is gonna pay dividends because it only blocks out the aggression through defender spawn rotation. The showstopper pop from Bad Love, but they're still able to find some room here, Revenant, as they do trade this out now with the man advantage. Loki almost had the whereabouts of Bad Love, but now with Bad Love's swing from the pillar, that is something Revenant Esports are very well set up for. Ember flying towards heaven. This secures the round more or less. Reckoning Esports trying their very best, but it's on no cigar. They're not gonna take this fight. They're gonna make Bad Love work for it like he's never had to in his life before, and he gets absolutely decapitated on his attempt. Revenant Esports, their ultimates used in a very, very perfect time. It felt like rhythm and harmony as they marched into that B bomb site, didn't it? There was almost nothing RGE could have done. They tried to buy time, and that's all they could have bought.
Exactly. I mean, Reckoning did everything, you know, but it was just about the positioning that Revenant Esports had, and alongside the utility that was there. The suppress from KO meant that, again, there was very little utility usage from Reckoning early on. No ultimates also meant they couldn't have done a lot, but sometimes, hey, all you need is a single bullet and a sheriff, and that's all Deadly 10 needs to get rid of not just 1 but 10 people if they need be. And he eliminates one for the time being. Oh god! Oh, that was lethal what he walked into, but good for Wim as he equalizes the loss of his teammate. Yes, rifles have been dropped on the side of Revenant Esports. It is still a 3 versus 3, but the thing is that the division of guns is still there. I mean, yeah, Reckoning it's an eco buy from their side. You've got the Blade Storm on Deadly 10. He can make great work of that. But overall, Revenant still hold a lot of the advantage unless Bad Luck can do something about it.
Set up on the position to do so, Logi.
Right
Been
there.
anticipating it, and I think now he just about gets the perfect setup. Nice ultimate usage to some extent, because again, with the blades, why would you want to risk a round like this? You already have Reckoning who are in a position where they have nothing to lose, and this is the opportunity for them to pull off those kind of big plays. They just want to take caution, which is the right thing in a position like this, right? Sure, some people might think it's overkill, but hey, if it works, it works. And in this situation, it's a small price to pay. Considering the proficiency that we've seen out of Wimp so far, pretty sure that he's going to be able to get that Rolling Thunder back in the matter of like what, another 2-3 rounds. So it's very realistic for us to expect that Rolling Thunder to make the difference when, let's say, the next buy round does come in fruition, or even to secure what would have been a Forsaken Thrifty going the way of RGE. That's what might be
You want to
there
play,
in the rounds
let's
coming forward.
play.
This is gonna be the changer that might bring a little bit of closure to Knight Riders to their force. This is the only thing that can really counter it per se, and even that goes to the wayside. You really can't counter the Tote Force with any kind of weaponry. Even the rifle, you stand a chance of getting instantly decimated because of that speed. And talking about speed, that's something that Revenant Esports really like to show, right? Bad Love, not in the best position. He knew that he was cornered out, locked out, and done with as soon as he was discovered. No backup possible. Pixels though, trying to make use of the aggro's team bot. Assume that Revenant Esports might tread like this as if they cleared every rock. Not the case. Revenant Esports more than heads up for this play, and they're just gonna lock this round out yet again.
That's it. Another round, no contestation whatsoever from the surviving two members on the side of Reckoning. Again, I don't think anyone would recommend them risking their lives and going for a play. If lucky, they may get an exit kill here or there, but no, Revenant are looking very strong in terms of their executes and in terms of their kills. I mean, one look at the scoreboard and it just paints the picture and gives you almost all the statistical information you need to know to see why exactly is this map going the way it is. Why exactly is it 1-4 about to be a 1-5 favoring the attackers. It's just, I mean, great performance. Skargot on the hunt. Now this can be something. Harsh and Rio, are they expecting it? The star is there. The concussion. Harsh needs to go for it. Skargot spots him. And it's going to be a flawless round from the side of Revenant. No mercy. Absolutely none shown whatsoever.
Dude, they had the operator. That was a full investment from RGE, and it got torn apart like a strat through paper. What's the variation that they now need to make? They tried to contest mid the past round, it didn't really work. And I really love the fact that Knight Rider pulled out that Tote Force even though he had money for another gun in a position like that, right? Reading the economy, he knew that Deadly is a player who likes to go in on that operator. And the Tote Force is the perfect counter to an operator. It's like essentially having a quicker and an easy operator to not only get that frag but to deny any trade on the back of that slow that does get delivered with the kill. And Knight Rider doesn't look like he's slowing down one bit. Tries to TP back to safety. That was a very ambitious TP and Deadly nice to deny the aggression through vents, which has been a very big problem for the side of RGE. Good job. That was Pixels just trying to play the mind game. They have the advantage. This is something that they need to translate with. This is something that's been on their code on a couple of occasions. Revenant Esports, though, diligent in the way they play the mid game to just lock out these kind of situations. They should anticipate this positioning. Oh, no.
No. I mean, yeah, Reckoning are still going to go for it. I mean, they've got the resurrection as well. I'm sure Harsh can attempt to resurrect one of his teammates if they are present near mid or heaven. But Deadly, with him being concussed, so much pressure falls onto the Sage. He gets one kill looking for another spot. Logista, but Deadly has to do the work now since he's back in the game. Can he isolate the gunfight? He for sure can. It's all down to this Astra and a lot of angles to be checked. He needs to isolate this gunfight, but no, Deadly swings from behind, and my god, Reckoning played this beautifully. 2 versus 3 turned into a 2 versus 0 just because of the kills that they managed to get, just because of how they were isolating those duels. And this was, again, a little bit of a poor showing from Revenant. I mean, yeah, okay, Ember died, but then you just had the final two members holding an open angle. What was Wimp doing there? He was so out in the open. I guess he was waiting for Harsh to swing wide from pillars, but nah, you can't be that much in the open. You're a breach. If you have any utility, use it. If you don't, hold an angle far back. But regardless, Revenant, after losing that round, does kind of make sense why they've gone for this tactical timeout. And, you know, a lot of words need to be spoken because I don't think Revenant would like to lose out on this lead that they have built for the past couple of rounds.
They've not lost their economy as well, bro. So it's all a very, very smooth journey for Revenant so far, and they realized the possibility of it turning nasty as well, right? They've talked things out, they've taken this time out. They need to come up with a small adaptation with how they want to play things. Harsh has that revive. They also have the lockdown available on Rio. This is key ultimates that help Reckoning Esports survive the variation, especially in the mid game, which Revenant Esports has been throwing their way. It allows them to play that post plan with a little more sense of comfort, but that comes at a cost. And that cost is staying alive and taking harder calls. You know, those calls where you do not go for the peak, those calls where you do not go for the fight. The sometimes harder ones to make. Deadly. Second time that he's trying to play in a position like this, and Ember quickly punished. Bad Love, his aggression works in tandem as Wimp tries to deny. However, Skargod's fast play towards Rope Room, I think, is expected to some extent. That's the reason RGE just completely fall back and play off B Heaven. They don't want to contest events just as of yet, even though they have a wall that divides the Revenant Esports members. It's going to be patient, that's going to bring them rewards. Revenant Esports just waiting for rotations.
Blocking vision.
Yeah. I mean, Revenant Esports, from their side, they don't have the man advantage, so they really can't go and make the play happen like they usually would have had they been strong on numbers. They are waiting for the instigation. They are waiting for someone on the other side of Reckoning to be picked off, and then they can see where the vulnerability lies. For the time being, that person may be Bad Love, or if that Raze is able to win the gunfight, it will mean even better, but time is really running out. Revenant Esports have got to realize that they have to push into the bomb site. Knight Rider's location is now known. Just depends, is Bad Love gonna swing? He does, but Knight Rider catches him, and this now means that Reckoning Esports, they will be forcing rotation. Stop! Beautiful headshot while he was running, and this gives full autonomy to the side of Revenant on the A bomb side, and very soon, in a matter of seconds, the tables have been turned. It's now a 3 versus 3 post plant.
On the back of that revive, they know exactly where this retake effort's coming from as well. It's all gonna be down to this crossfire that Revenant Esports have to play on the back of. Utility so far disjoints this play. That's Skargod, very crucial that he finds success. He's found success, he's buying time, he tries to run back to safety, which could have costed him. I mean, he could have bought a little more time though. Knight Rider though, perfect position, perfect time, perfect play. That's all he needed to do, and this round becomes impossible for Deadly to win. Might as well just go for the Hail Mary play. Jumps up to heaven, not to be an angel though, as he goes down all the way to hell. And this is a hellish situation for Reckoning Esports to be stuck in, right? In a round where they found so much initial success, this kind of a result is heartbreaking, as it just falls apart piece by piece.
Yeah, and the thing is, Revenant Esports, they were simply just waiting and waiting for Reckoning to do something, and then they essentially moved into the bomb site. This was a very influential round because the team that lost would have meant economic disaster for the next couple of rounds, and Reckoning unfortunately have to face the brunt of it. Pixels has been moved back from Garage. The fault line prevents anyone from holding vents, and you can see how everyone in Revenant is using their utility. First you have the Neon, then you've got the Breach to move out any of the defenders, and slowly but surely Revenant managed to get mid control, and you've got Neon herself just pushing up using her passive and gaining a lot of space, as is the job of that agent. So now once more, yeah, the likes of Revenant, they have used their utility. Now it's time to get the guns in order. Reckoning know about this retake. They've got 3 members here holding angles. Harsh going to the first person, but unfortunately he whiffs. Pixels gets the Vandal, retrieves it, and now the side of Revenant Esports have side control and the man advantage.
No, it's gonna pay off. No, Wimp, very heads up. You know exactly what Pixel's play was. This needs to be a clean job by Knight Rider. Could have gotten nasty if he ended up going down there, because that would have essentially been the only opening. Now Deadly, a lot left to do. The Blades, a proficient weapon to do it with. Sadly, Revenant Esports just playing on the back of each other denies him any opportunity to do so as well. 7-2 now, man. This is starting to look eerily similar to the first map, which is not a good sign if you're a Reckoning Esports fan. Revenant Esports, they've been looking very, very explosive so far. Every single one of their member able to pull off immaculate plays, and these are plays that comes out of nowhere. I'm 100% sure that this is a lot down to Reckoning Esports and the way they're approaching this mid-game to some extent, because Revenant Esports really don't have to do much to get the ball rolling. Once they throw a little bit of utility, causes enough disruption in the RGE bootcamp to then force out errors, which is exactly what Revenant Esports have been punishing since round 1. That's something that Scargod has been forcing as well with the use of his fast-paced action, right? This fast-paced flank throw. There's going to be enough of a game changer, because RGE, there needs to be more addition to the front. The front lines have held so far, and this all builds up to that backstab being even more exponentially valuable.
Now, oh, again the fourth line. Look at the timing of that. But now, Badler from the backstab. He's dead, and he is going to be a nuisance for the side of Revenant to deal with. The showstopper. 2 of the attackers are in the same corner. It's going to be lethal if he's not aware. He gets one, but he doesn't know Knight Rider's in the corner. Knight Rider spots him with the operator, gets the kill just like the round before. Deadly 10 is there to safeguard the spike, and Pixels gets another kill. Revenant Esports situational awareness. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's a chaotic round, but they are forgetting to dot their I's and cross their T's. It's all down to Ember. 1 versus 2. We've seen a lot more from this man.
They line up
And
for him
he can do a lot. He can take the ultimate orb as well, but he doesn't want to give away his position. Still, Deadly 10 holding a very aggressive angle, and it's just going to be the Jet getting the kill. 30 HP remaining, plenty for Deadly to deal with. It is going to be the 3rd round on board for Reckoning Esports. Still not entirely out of it, but a long ways off.
They need to salvage the half. They need these 2 rounds. And it's not going to come easy, right? They have a lot of money on the side of Revenant Esports, and they have a lot of ultimates on the side of Revenant Esports. Except for Logi, everybody else is on their ultimate, and Logi is just a mere 1 point away, which can be achieved either by a kill or an orb. This operator, Deadly, we've seen it not pay off on multiple occasions, and this needs to be the story that changes. If Reckoning Esports need to be more relevant here in the first half and in their last chance to stay alive in this upper bracket, because this is the map 2 of this best of 3 where they've already lost the first. Knight Rider's positioning gives me crippling anxiety because he's in the neck of a crossfire, and a deadly one in that as well. Both the Sentinels more or less aware of how the story has been for the past few rounds, and it's not been the way of RGE. This could be the game changer.
Oh,
the judge, it doesn't budge. The triple, and the Battle Sage comes online. 2 versus 5 for Revenant to claw this round back. As he walks his way up to heaven, he goes down a body bag, and Wimp, very little he could have done like that. Whew. That shotgun,
Last round before the switch.
it's like Muhammad Ali, dude. It just punches you to submission. The juicy action. Let's relive it. Boom.
Boom, boom,
Pam.
jump. Ah, this is one for the highlight reel, for sure. I mean, this is getting posted everywhere. Excellent stuff from Harsh. And Reckoning really have a very good chance to salvage this half. I mean, from the looks of it, we can see a repetition of what happened on Haven, but no, from the looks of it, Brio isn't looking to change that. But Scargod, he's like, you take one of my teammates down, and guess what? I am going to hunt you down. 4 versus 4, and in an instant, the side of Revenant had managed to get into the bomb side. The Cosmic Divide prevents anyone on the side of Reckoning from seeing what's happening. It's just going to be difficult for him to cross that into heaven. But what he can do is make a distraction, cause a scene, get the attention of the lives of Reckoning members, because all of them are really here on the bomb side holding these angles, and that's exactly what Logist has started to do. Look at Deadly 10 holding the angle, and Loginov falls back. excellent usage to get the attention, go back, and because there wasn't deadly 10, Harsh was isolated, his body is gone, Pixels is splashed, concussed, and all alone. Can he do something? He's gonna be peeking, so will Deadly. No, it's not gonna work out, it's all down to this Omen, but it's a bad Omen, he's all alone. It is going to be Revenant Esports securing the final round of the first half, and it means that it's a replication of the map of Haven, 8-4, favoring R&T.
A very, very similar picture yet again to the first map, dude. It feels like we're just on rinse and repeat, aren't we? A lot could be done by Reckoning Esports, but it's on the back of this pistol round where they'll find form to fight back from such a deficit. It's very crucial that they find a good start to what seems like a very, very upward journey. And Revenant Esports being so flamboyant with their approach on the attack, with their pace being so varied, it's gonna be a nice turn of tail. And they're on the defense, their aggression through mid, oh goodness, now they have information, and Knight Rider should be aware that there could be a hit towards this A side. They line up the headhunter, and he's the guillotine, but he hits with the double punch action that we all love and to see. Although they fight back here, RGE. 2 for 2, the trade goes, and 3v3, the post plan now set. Although a lot of utility on the side of Revenant Esports to force them back and force them into a body bag. It's all on a Harsh. We've seen him battle sage it up before, but he needs to go above and beyond the wall. Buys him a little bit of a choke point to then put this classic to use. That was a very, very disgusting way to put your enemy to bed. The utility barrage in those last few seconds was F.
Not only that, but the crossfire that was maintained from Scargod, you know, being on A main, holding that crossfire, that was excellent stuff. Scargod purposefully did not push because of the fact that there were two members in the screens area. And then the likes of, you know, Revenant pushed him out primarily because Wimp had those flashes. And they went out where? First of all, they were flashed and they went out right in the crosshair of Scargod, who was holding the angle with a ghost nonetheless. Excellent in, you know, long, like medium to long range. So really good stuff. But the highlight of the round for me, and I believe for everyone, had to be the double kill. Regardless, OG, just like Haven, what have we seen? It is a mirror of the previous map. It is going to be the pistol going in favor of Revenant, and now they're looking to capitalize even further. Eco frags going their way. Battler manages a double, but he has been isolated, and now it's all down to Rio. 2 bodies for Revenant. A little bit of an expensive round, but overall it's a round that's done. You can't really say much. It's an eco after all.
Double digits though, buddy. That's a setter. Let me make Knight Rider sit in place.
The spike.
1v2, I mean, both the Revenant Esports members are kind of clawed towards this position of them having to defend objective. Come to the wall, and only if he found that head of Ember. Decent damage, I suppose. Very less that redeems RGE in this matchup now, because they're just a foot away to that lower bracket.
Right.
And all that's needed is Revenant Esports to win 3 rounds. It was essentially what? 2 buy rounds and 1 round to secure it?
Technically, yeah. Yeah, I'm just hoping, because of the fact that we have double Sentinel on the side of Reckoning, maybe they can pull something more. But honestly, without an initiator, the lack of information can be a little bit of a doozy. Because yeah, the double Sentinel works primarily because once you have that bomb site, you can lock it down. And which agent archetype helps you in getting the bomb site? It is going to be the duelists after all. So yeah, as soon as you get bomb site control, then Reckoning can be favorable. But the problem is getting there is a process, which is why that, yeah, the Sentinels really can't help out that much with their utility. They have to focus more on the gunfights. Only then can they shine, but they really can shine if the need be. So a lot of consideration right here, and a lot of things to think about with exactly how many rounds Reckoning need to win. on the side of Revenant, well, they just do and they just keep on doing what they're doing. They are initiating those gunfights when, as a defender, you would question whether or not you should do it. So far, it has been working in their favor. The thing is, it has to keep on working. With the buy downs that are there, it most certainly can. Look at this aggression from ScarGod. He's all the way into attacker spawn, forcing Rio to fall back, who is the solo lurker. ScarGod, can he win this duel? No, no, no. You can't be this aggressive. No, you can't.
Nice try though, as Knight Rider does take one down with him. Logi needs to find timing here. That's the only way he wins this fight against Rio, and he's found it! Just in the nick of time! He's managed to find the head. And Revenant Esports still have a chance to put this one in the bed. Harsh, he's gonna be playing the close crossfire. Utility out. It aids him to the peak to some extent, but he needs to have his eyes pointing in the right direction. Didn't spot a single soul when he was in between two. Logi plays with them for just a bit, allows the utility to do the heavy lifting, and this is a round that Revenant Esports clawed out of nowhere.
The utility, the gravity well. Again, the best thing Revenant are doing is the fact that with the agents they have, they are using them excellently, exactly in the way it should be intended, regardless of whatever the history with the agent has been, whether they've received nerfs or buffs or this or that, doesn't matter. Revenant and their practical application right now has surpassed a lot of expectations, and which is primarily why they're making this comp work without any of your usual suspects that you would see. Without a Jet, without a Sova, without any of that, they are making it work thoroughly. And this is a comp that can really get very, very strong the more Revenant played, because that's the more they'll understand the nuances of how they gotta go through it. But anyways, coming back to Reckoning on hand, after all, they are the attackers. They're the ones to make initial initial contact into a bomb site. A bit of a fake play right here. You give the sound cue of the Vandal, have the operator, Knight Rider. He's only going to fire a shot when it's a sure shot, when he knows it's going to be a kill. The Jet has seen him. He falls back. Just in the nick of time. Reckoning though, the spike is going over, makes you wonder what this plan is.
Though Ember has one part of the plan put together, and that was just a delightful double. But he's able to bag. Reckoning Esports can't help but feel bad for them, can you? This mid-run adaptation doesn't seem that powerful enough to throw that curveball. They get Wimp. Cargo's already here on defense duty, and Badlove's found the gap to get Knight Rider dealt with. Cargo just walks in, gets that kill, and runs back like a broad theft in broad daylight. And right now,
30 seconds
the
left.
margins couldn't be even more broad, right? It's gonna be map and match point pretty soon for Revenant Esports, and that's not ideal whatsoever.
Alright. So, for the time being, Ember doing his best to prevent the attackers from pushing in. He gets another kill before being put in a down but not outstayed. But the thing is, Rio's location is known to everyone. ScarGod holds a simple angle. Turret has been destroyed. Killjoy has been cornered off. And yeah, the KO will be revived as well.
Down.
Really can't do anything. Oh, I mean, it's a kill confirmed, but still, can Rio clutch this out? Let's see. 1 versus 2 scenario. He's gonna be wide swinging anytime soon. It is a fake after all, but nah, just I was holding the angle. That is that. So another round going in the favor of Revenant, and this is exactly Haven. I mean OG. 12-4. The scoreline on Haven was 13-4. It feels like it's gonna end up like that sooner rather than later. Maybe a 13-5 or something. For Reckoning, they've got to win 8 rounds consecutively, go into overtime, win overtime, go into Ascent, win Ascent in order to move on to the upper bracket finals. This to me feels like from an extremely difficult job to outright impossible.
Yeah, a Herculean task, dude. This is a lot that we're asking out of a team. And Reckoning Esports, yeah, sure, they've delivered a lot for the past few months, but even for their metric, this is far too much. Knight Rider has that operator. It's gonna be set up by Ember, so Pixels, on the back of dodging that flash, might have a small upper hand. Knight Rider has been precise day in and day out. Badlove finds Cargod, and mind you, he also has a showstopper, so it's still possible for them to make an explosive entrance towards this B side. They force the defense towards the B main position, and Ember so nearly bites the dust, but he has positioning to then find that kill later on. And Wham, close range, forcing that fight. They walked into this crossfire. 2 versus 4. We've seen Logi pull off miraculous stuff before.
Standing.
This is all on the man who's had the operator, but I doubt he's gonna be a man who wants to give it away.
No, for sure he won't. Yeah. Reckoning Esports, they made the best out of that situation. A bit of overextension from the side of Revenant. I mean, pushing out from Garage in that play wasn't the best with Astra and Breach. The Breach flash was there, but Revenant really didn't count for the crossfire that was going to be maintained. And overall, they lost a body in Haven as well. In Heaven as well, which I believe was Bad Love getting the kill with the boom bot. So that also meant that you've lost another member. You've lost an anchor in the bomb side, and you've lost the members who were pushing him from Garage outright entirely eliminated. And eventually it led to, yeah, just Reckoning getting, I wouldn't say a very easy round. Like, it wasn't easy in the sense they just happened to get kills. It was good in the sense that they countered what Revenant were doing with little to no casualty. I mean, one person dying is not a bad result at all, especially when you're up against such bad odds. Knight Rider, though, he'll not be dying, he'll be surviving, moves on over into the next round with the operator safe and sound.
They have the option for taking out the Tode force as well, considering this buy is kind of hamstrung together. Would have been a little viable to hand over that operator and pull out the Tode force. Yeah, they have a little to fight with here, so Reckoning Esports need to kind of be in the back seat here, right? They can't really think that, you know what, we won the last round, this round more or less guaranteed. Oh, are we gonna see it? Scott could find the turnaround. That is the spike. That is Rio put in an uncomfortable position. Judge. Dude, how much more of this are we gonna see? No more, I think. Oh. Dude, he has the force on his side.
That's it. Pixels is the only one. 1 versus 4 in order to keep Reckoning's hopes alive in the upper brackets. Man.
Dude, they're throwing everything and the kitchen sink at the fan.
The Rolling Thunder and then the Torre Force. I mean, there's not much Pixels can do. He's going to walk to his death. Practically. So, Reckoning Esports, they've given it their best. They've had an excellent journey so far,
Nice try.
but it won't be working. It was a joke, but it's not gonna work. It's not gonna go in their way. Revenant Esports, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be moving on forward in towards the upper bracket finals to face off against the likes of Velocity Gaming. Unfortunate for Reckoning, but they'll be going down into the lower bracket semifinals.
Oh god, what a way to get back on the road, right? After a long break, not only for us, but also for you, ladies and gentlemen, having a game which might be one-sided by the scoreline, cool, but a game which is so dynamic that you couldn't help but love how it was played out, right? Sure, it didn't work out for Reckoning, but sometimes this is the bad end of the trade that you do get when you go for something so contrastingly different from what's meta. Sometimes when you have 10 different agents on the server, you could expect that to be a landslide because there is going to be momentum that's very necessary for either side to gain that kind of an edge. And let's quickly head over to the highlights as well, because you'd understand with the highlights that there were a lot of situations where RGE were able to find answers. There were times where they were able to put the stop to that mid-round aggression, yet Revenant Esports were able to claw those kind of rounds back. That is, I don't think even robbery would be right to describe that. That's straight up like, you know how we have the movie National Treasure, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, to that degree, dude. They just ran away with this game and they made it look like a very easy task from what looked to be a hard game. Because even though, you know, Revenant made it look easy, it's not that much of a cakewalk when you're playing against an RGE, like, especially like this, right? They look to be in form as well. Sometimes the strat just failed them.
Yeah, be it the strategy or be it, just not being able to win those duels, the side of Reckoning Esports, they just didn't seem to have a good grips on their matchup against Revenant right now. Hopefully, Reckoning can recover from this for their next matchup, which will be at 8 p.m. against the likes of M42, because otherwise, this would mean that within a day, Reckoning would be going from, potentially going into the upper bracket finals to facing the consequences of getting out of the Challenger Series entirely. That's a predicament no team should be in. So yeah, hopefully Reckoning can recover. But seeing how Split and how Haven have gone, massive props to the likes of Revenant and all of their players. They've been doing an excellent job so far, and all the tactics that they have been doing so far, they've been working brilliantly. Not to mention the kills. I believe Ember broke like 22 kills or something, 23, something along the lines of that. Beautiful performance, and that was just the KO there. You also had Skargor as the Neon. Always, he may not have had the most kills, but certainly a lot of the influential kills went to his name because of how he positioned himself at the forefront every single step of the way. So, yeah, big props to Revenant. They absolutely deserve the upper bracket final spot that they have competing against Velocity. It's a well deserving win that they've taken right here. 13-4 and 13-4.
13-4 and 13-4, dude. This is not the result that we expected of this kind of an upper bracket matchup. But what ended up happening in terms of both the teams having such a nice approach to the game, what at least we consider unique to some extent, right? That's what I love to see. And that's something that I hope that we get to see more of from the Challenger Series. Because, of course, this might be a loss for Reckoning Esports, but they still have the safety net of the lower bracket, where later on today they are going to be taking on M42. I hope that this gives them a small mental reset to then take that upward battle. Because they not only have M42 to face off, but if they win that matchup, then they have to take on a very, very scary looking EG. Not an easy route back to victory and back to winning ways. But for Revenant Esports, they have a Goliath themselves that they now need to face, right? They have Velocity
Exactly.
Gaming waiting for them. And either side of the bracket looking this scary, I think Revenant Esports are going to be happy that they still have that safety net to make sure that they're going to be here in the Challenger Series for a couple more nights to come.
True. Both the teams, yeah, for their side, fighting for different things. And that's exactly what we said in the pre match presentation as well. One team, they're looking to get a comfortable journey and stay the entire duration of the Challenger Series, get into the grand finale as well, while the other will be fighting for survival. But for the time being, yeah, these highlights, they were great, man. Right from the get go, this was the best thing. Right from the get go, we started off and we saw just the explosive nature that Revenant would be carrying with this composition. And they carried it through and through every single round. They made sure they had the momentum. Sure, there were a couple of hiccups here and there. Reckoning Esports, they got a couple of good rounds for themselves as well. But that still means that the overall score favoring R&D 13-4, it does give this one-sided picture. And yeah, a couple of instances were shown of brilliance. There were those glimmers of hope from Reckoning, but unfortunately overall they just couldn't quantify it, and they couldn't convert it into like consistent winnings. And that was also a problem. That was something they focused on. They like struggled with on Haven as well, getting more and more rounds. Like a couple here and there is all well and good. You're ending the half 8-4. That's nice. But as soon as the second half swing by, it felt like Revenant Esports, they had a rejuvenation and they were just like on another form. And they could not be tackled. They could not be countered at all. And Reckoning just had their hands in their heads, thinking like, what is going wrong? How can we improve on this? How are we losing?
I also feel like this double Sentinel setup was just easily thwarted by Revenant,
Hmm.
right? A double Sentinel setup on the defense is something that's scary to play against, especially if you're going to play the style that Revenant did, the slow, grindy game. That's the game style that kind of gets punished because the more time you buy, the more valuable your utility will be later on in the round, right? And having two sentinels in that sense definitely does help you take a big W. And
Hmm.
again, with the way Revenant Esports are playing with their innovative mid round adaptation, if they're going to take a W against VLT, we need to see a whole lot more of innovation from where this came from, right? I love how contrasting their agent pool could be. That's something that we've only said about Revenant Esports so far, Reckoning Esports so far, right? On the back of this win, I feel like Revenant Esports not only are taking a throne at who could be challenged for being the next big team in the South Asian region, but also
Right.
who can be the most versatile team to play on demand.
And that's the thing, that having so many of these strats and having those counters ready, like you said, on demand, can be a very, very helpful factor for your side. But overall, oh, it was 13-5. Oh, man. Oh, I forgot that one. But anyways, 13-4, and then it was 13-5. Still roughly the same picture, one round cannot change that much unless it's like 13-11 and stuff like that. But overall, the thing was that Revenant Esports, not only is the composition working, but the fact that they have knowledge of the maps, that is also really, really beneficial. I mean, they won out on Haven against Reckoning Esports. That in of itself is like a statement you make. Like, we won against Reckoning on Haven. Boom. That carries a lot of weight, and it shows that Revenant Esports, they've got theoretical knowledge of all these maps. Now, was this like a one-off instance where Haven and Split are really their strong suit maps, and we may get to see like a weaker map that Revenant may not like to play? Potentially. There may be one or two maps here and there that Revenant absolutely don't prefer at all, and unless it's like a best of five, we may never see them. Things like insta bans and stuff like that. But overall, from what we have seen, Revenant have been picking up pace slowly but surely, and they constantly are going for more and more. And I really expect like a very, very optimistic outcome for them overall in the Challenger series, and a far better one overall in South Asian Valor.
I'm wondering, dude, how the road's gonna be after
Hmm.
this kind of a matchup. Our 8 p.m. matchup is sure as hell gonna be so much more spicier, right? A
Right.
lot of weightage now in a lot of teams lower bracket run M42. They're looking to turn their season around, and this could be their opportunity to do so. On the back of a roster change and on the back of a small shakeup, this could be how they take to winning ways. We've seen how Revenant Esports have been so dominant, and with this dominance, they've sent Reckoning Esports down to the lower bracket. Now, Reckoning Esports, no pun intended, have Reckoning of their own now to reconcile. So for them to find that constellation, they not only need to beat M42 but also EG,
Right.
who are on their own kind of revenge story to go back up and then fight Revenant Esports. That could be a possibility, but that's a lot of nights to come, right? There are so many matches
Hmm.
that are going to decide that, and that's more incentive for you at home, ladies and gentlemen, to hit that subscribe, hit that bell notification so you'll know every time we go live. Not only here Challenger series, but also everything Valorant Esports India related. You find this to be a very convenient stop if you want your daily dose of Valorant
Hmm.
adrenaline. We've talked a lot about, a lot of these teams. Let's also quickly trace through the brackets in a mere few seconds, because without a doubt, there is going to be a lot more to come in these few coming days. And again,
Yeah.
with the way this action's going, more reason for you at home, ladies and gentlemen, to head down to the description below, find the latest tech from not only LG Ultragear in terms of their cutting edge monitors, but also ZOTAC to get those frames to win those games, and also crucial to find maybe the last few days for you to insta lock before we do remove that feature.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, overall, I've got to say that seeing how we are coming to an end of a Challenger series, how we only have what, one, two, three, four matches remaining. Yeah, four. But anyways, regardless of how many matches we have, it's about the teams that are remaining as well. Today, we will see the end of journey for one of the teams. And now in our 8 p.m. matchup, the teams will really be fighting for everything. M42 Esports up against Reckoning. It is going to be fight for survival and fight for a bigger cut of the prize pool as well. Because at the end of the day, it's not just glory you're fighting for. It's going to be the prize pool that we have to offer, and the teams the best result they can get, it is going to be really helpful. So I myself, I'm really looking forward to the 8 p.m. matchup. I hope everyone is as well. But for the time being, this concludes our first best of 3 of the day. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll see you shortly. Make sure you're subscribed, make sure you tune in at 8 p.m. Till then, take care, bye bye.
From the legends of memory and storage, Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products, precision engineered for speed and stability. Crucial Ballistics. you